Hey everybody, welcome into the Mariners post-game wrap-up for game number 75. A 9-2 loss to the Baltimore Orioles. Mariners fall to 34-41 now on the season. After a nice 5-game winning streak, they've now dropped 2 in a row. First game I feel like I've talked about, it was kind of over really early. By the 4th inning, it was 7-0 Baltimore. And Mariners never really got into this one or were really in it at any point. Even some of the games I talked about against the Angels where they lost 4-5, they were in those games at least for the most part, or, you know, within 2 or 3 runs. So there was always a chance of a comeback. Nothing today that really, you know, at any point, I mean, I guess the first out of the game was recorded and there were 2 outs in the first before Baltimore scored. But outside of that, just never really an opportunity. Really felt like the Mariners were really in this one. A shame, you know, like I said, yesterday was kind of a crazy day. And even though, you know, there was some fun to it and some stuff that went back and forth and all that, whatever, and some cool to see some of the Mariners kind of rallying behind each other, they still lost yesterday. The game still counts with that lineup. And then to come out today and really, you know, kind of a stinker today, that, you know, we're almost halfway done with the season. We're only 6 games away from the halfway point. And this team's 7 games under 500. You know, if they want to be serious about getting back in this thing, they got to win series. And, you know, this is definitely a winnable series. You know, I will say with Baltimore, I don't think you know, I kind of talk about how I think Baltimore and Oakland coming up winnable games. You know, Baltimore's playing some pretty good ball. You know, they're 35-40. They're ahead of the Mariners in the standings. And, you know, they got some good pitching today from Tyler Wells. 5 shutout innings, 1 hit, you know, 1 earned run, 3 strikeouts. And then their bullpen did the rest. And I kind of like this Orioles lineup. You've got some good weapons in there with Mancini, Santander, Austin Hayes is a good hitter. Adley Rutschman's really coming on and hitting well. Mountcastle's got pop. Odor's not a great average on base guy, but he's got pop. And Jorge Mateo at the bottom of the order, you know, isn't hitting all that well either, but he's got a little pop himself. I think it was his 6th home run he hit tonight. And he's got like 20 stolen bases. So even though, you know, he's not getting on base a ton, when he is getting on base, he's making things happen. So it's kind of an interesting Orioles team. You know, a team that I feel like it would be fun to root for if I was an Orioles fan, definitely. And they're in a tough division. I mean, they're playing half their games a year are against the Yankees, Red Sox, Baltimore, Yankees, Red Sox, Tampa, Toronto. So they've got a gauntlet of a division, and then they're hanging tough. So, you know, if you're an Orioles fan, I definitely think you got a good future here and a fun team to probably root for. I imagine Orioles fans are pretty excited and having a good time this season. They oh my, I can't speak that. They hit 5 home, I'm just gonna say, they just hit 5 home runs tonight. 2 times they went back-to-back. Santander homered on a 12-pitch at-bat. Rutschman homered. Austin Hayes homered. Who else homered? Mountcastle homered as well. And then Mateo homered off Penn Murphy. George Kirby just didn't have it tonight. 4 innings, 7 earned runs. Pull up his numbers here. 9 hits, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts. Yeah, just didn't, the command wasn't there for him. You know, he didn't walk a ton. He also hit a batter as well, but he was just out of the strike zone. And I wonder if Kirby's tipping pitches. It looked like he might have been today because just Orioles are spitting on everything out of the zone and hitting everything in the zone hard. And he had some outs that were hit hard as well. So George Kirby just a bad start. His first one where I really just, you know, he just didn't have it. Other starts he's battled. Maybe it wasn't perfect, but he battled. Tonight was just an example of not having it at all. It can't do much about that. Kirby's been really good since he came up, and he's a rookie. So, I mean, you can't really get on him too much. It happens. His first, like I said, real negative start. You know, it happens. You know, guys aren't going to be perfect every time out. Offense really didn't do anything. 3 hits for the Mariners. I think 2 walks. Frazier and Winker both worked walks. Suarez had a double off the wall that scored Julio. Julio had a base hit, and then Cal Raleigh homered. And for the first time ever, the Mariners have lost a game in which Cal Raleigh homered. They fall to 11-1. in those games. So that streak does not live. But good to see Cal homer, 10 home runs on the year. He just continues to be, to me, like one of the more just impressive guys on this team. I know if you look at the average, it's not great, but compared to other catchers, it's a weak hitting position in the American League, and Cal's really stepped up and been, looks like a real, I say this in every video, but a real piece of the Mariners' future. So that is awesome to see. Yeah, you know, I'm trying to think if anything else really happened. I feel like I'm kind of running out of things to say. Nothing really eventful. The suspensions were handed down for the Mariners. I guess I'll talk about that a little bit. Jesse Winker received 7 games. Julio Rodriguez 2 and J.P. Crawford 5. All 3 are appealing. Winker and Crawford aren't going to get out of suspensions. Maybe it gets reduced. That'd be awesome. But they threw punches. I mean, that's going to get you suspended 10 times out of 10. I'm not too sure what Julio did to warrant a suspension. I don't know if he was John and said something and maybe just said the wrong thing or what happened, but hopefully he gets his maybe down to nothing, because I'm not really sure what Julio did. Everyone kind of seems to agree on that they're not really sure what he did outside of getting thrown at. I'm not really sure what Julio did in that event. You know, the John Boy video that came out today was really interesting, breaking down the brawl yesterday. And I mean, if you haven't watched it, if you're watching my video, I'm sure you've watched that video. About 1 million more subscribers than I have, but check it out. Really some interesting stuff pointed out there. Yeah, I don't think the Angels come off looking all that great in that video, especially Nevin. But, you know, it is what it is. To each their own. Take it as you wish. But those are the suspensions for the Mariners. Hopefully maybe they can get them reduced a little bit. They were saying that if they want, they don't have to serve all the suspensions at once, but they don't get to replace the roster spot. So essentially, like, J.P. Crawford could start tomorrow if he wanted to on his suspension, but they can't replace him on the roster. So, like, you could keep Winker in there for the 5 games that Crawford's out and Julio, but you can't replace him on the roster. I think you just kind of do it all at once and get out of the way instead of staggering it. Because truthfully, hopefully Julio's gets reduced and maybe he doesn't even get suspended. If not, maybe a game. You lose Julio for a game, okay. And I'm hoping maybe JP's down to 4 and Jesse 6, and you can kind of work around it a little bit. But yeah, those were handed down. Like I said, I don't think the Mariners were in the wrong on what happened. I think the Angels were far more in the wrong. I could talk about that a little bit yesterday. But, you know, Jesse Winker did throw punches. Crawford did throw punches. You're going to get suspended for that regardless. It's, you know, it is what it is. I'm not shocked. And to think it's crazy that they got suspended is ridiculous, too. They are being rightfully suspended. Now, it doesn't mean I don't kind of support them in what they did a little bit, but no shock there. Carlos Santana will join the team tomorrow. If you haven't watched my video, talk a little bit about some of his numbers. You know, he'll be, Mariners acquired him today for a couple lower level pitching prospects. So he'll be in the lineup likely tomorrow. My guess would be that Drew Ellis gets sent down. That seems like the easiest fix right away. And you have Dylan Moore and Toro, who can both play in field positions. I do wonder, though, if maybe you could see a Justin Upton DFA. I just... Upton doesn't have a lot of at-bats, but he wasn't hitting in the PCL in AAA. I mean, his bat speed doesn't look good. He is swinging and missing at so many pitches. He's not hit anything hard. He has 1 extra base hit, a few singles, a couple walks. I don't see any scenario where Justin Upton is good for the Mariners this year. I said when they brought him up that he's going to be better than Toro, and honestly, like, again, I think I mentioned this in a video too, like, famous last words by me, because right now I honestly think Toro, at least Toro makes some contact and has some home runs. I think I'm kind of at the point where I'd rather see Toro at DH than Upton. I get why they did it. No problem with the signing. No problem with them bringing him up when they did. But yeah, I think it's pretty much, I don't see Upton being anything. Like I said, sending down Drew Ellis might just be the easier roster move. But honestly, like, it wouldn't shock me if they designate Justin Upton for assignment tomorrow. It might just be the right move to make. We'll see what they end up doing. My guess would be Ellis goes down and they buy themselves, especially Winker and Julio maybe serving suspensions. Upton can play the outfield, so he might stick for a little bit until Ty France comes back. It does sound like Ty France is going to try to get back after that 10 days. Some of the pregame comments from Scott and from Ty as well. So hopefully that they can go ahead and get him back in there quickly. I said earlier that I thought it might be a month he'd be out, but it looks like maybe they can get him back a little bit sooner than that. So that would be awesome to have Ty France back. Sorry, I'm waving to people in the house there. Apologize for that. But yeah, so hopefully maybe Ty can get back in the lineup sooner than I expected. That would be awesome. Yeah, other than that, kind of like I said, an uneventful night. Mariners fall 34-41. Like I said, we're coming up on the halfway point. They got to win games, got to win series. They can still win this series. Robbie Ray goes tomorrow. Hopefully he can keep his streak of good starts going and get a win for this team because they need to win series. Like I said, I think Baltimore's better than anticipated, but I still think it's a team the Mariners can beat in a series. They did earlier this year, and you've got Oakland coming in for 4. So an opportunity here. They had a great 5-1 road trip, but, you know, don't want to undo that either. Like they kind of did in their last home road trip, good one. They came home and struggled. Don't want to do that again. So again, Baltimore wins tonight 9-2. Mariners lose. And yeah, hopefully they bounce back tomorrow. If you're first time watching, I am getting some more views here recently, which is really cool. Love to see you guys subscribe. Helps me out a ton. Please like the video too. Leave a comment just if you have any thoughts on this dinger of a ball game tonight. So please like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys and gals tomorrow. And as always, go M's.